Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's latest episode on my YouTube video series. And today's episode 58, where we're going to share about the proposed new Singapore MRT line, which is the Seletar line, and how this Seletar line goes to Johor Bahru. Okay, so my name is Ryan Khoo, and as per usual, before we start this video, there's a short introduction on myself.
Director of Alpha Marketing.
Speak in Iskandar, Malaysia. So my name is Ryan. Nama saya Ryan.
6,000 incoming supply in Johor. This is
I'm writing. Thank you for attending today's presentation on Iskandar, Malaysia.
So hi everybody, my name is Ryan Khoo, and in case you don't know who I am, it's the first time watching my videos. My name is Ryan Khoo. I'm a Malaysian. I'm a Singapore PR. I've been based in Singapore since 2009, so I've lived in Singapore for many years. I'm semi-Singaporean. Okay, I live here. My family is here. And I'm a real estate investor. First, I've done real estate investment over many years in Malaysia and Singapore. I'm also a property agent, both in Singapore and Malaysia with ERA. And I'm also well known to be a property speaker on property investment related topics. So I have been spoken on Property Guru, on ST Property, on iProperty. I've done many different events with regards to real estate investment. I'm on the stage with many big property CEOs and other property investors. And other important people. I've written articles for HProp as well. So I consider myself to be somewhat of an topic or subject matter expert on Iskandar, Malaysia and Johor Bahru related investments as well as retirement topics. Okay, and today is my latest video in a long series of videos which recently we've been keep talking about train and other train or MRT related matters. Now, what has happened actually is that Singapore, right, actually came out this article where they were saying that the new proposed Seletar MRT line would offer Sengkang Serangoon residents a quicker route to Johor Bahru. Actually, when this news first came out, this was the one that actually picked up my attention. Because what happens is that the new line actually go to JB. Actually, I didn't really pay much attention to it. The first news article actually came out earlier. This is the actual original news, which is that the Singapore government, Minister Chee Hong Tat, Transport Minister, said that the government has still undergoing the feasibility studies for the Tengah and Seletar MRT lines. Now, these two lines are actually still some time ahead, right? It's still under feasibility study. But so far, as we know from Singapore perspective, any line that they want to build usually get built. We haven't, I don't think there's a line that's been cancelled before, right? Just that this MRT line will only be happen from 2040s onwards, which is still quite far down the road. So we're talking about minimum 15 years. Okay. But the interesting bit, as I said, is that this line, especially the Seletar MRT line, goes to JB, right? So in this video, I'm going to try and show you how that works and who are the people that will have it easier to go to JB. So if you stay in Singapore today, right, and you happen to be bypassed by this new line, then in the future you can go to JB easier, right? Okay, although you'll be much older by then. So if you see the Seletar line, right, if you see my mouse here, basically it touches at the Woodlands North line, right, which is the station that goes into JB. So that's why the analyst, which is actually a professor in one of Singapore's universities, he was saying that I think his name is Professor Raymond. He was saying that actually from this line, Seletar line, the top here, right, covers this northern part of Singapore, basically northern Sembawang, Admiralty, right? Then it comes down into North Canberra. I think they call it Montreal, the area. Then into North Yishun, near the Yishun Dam, right, all the way down to Seletar, Serangoon North, right, and then Fernvale, then into Serangoon itself. So this is where they're saying all the way down, right? All the way down goes to Whampoa, Kallang, and then eventually at the Greater Southern Waterfront. I think this is where, not so sure where it will end up because government's still developing this area, but somewhere around Tanjong Pagar, all the way to the Keppel Bay area, right? So this is the line which actually I'm more interested in because this is the one that goes to JB, right? And up to 400,000 households, right, will be affected. They'll get the benefit of the new line. So I think let's see. So I am no expert, or I have not done the homework to go and really plot out where the proposed Seletar line will be. I understand the feasibility studies for this have been ongoing for years, right? From what I read online, right? So basically, I borrowed this chart, right? A speculative map I found on Reddit, right? Credits to Euro Urban Fantasy. Urban Fantasy and Umi Yui Kai Tetan, right? They are the ones who initially developed this map, which I think is the best map I've seen so far. So based on this map, right, if we try and speculate where the stations will be, right? So this is Woodlands North. So Woodlands North, you can see they put here in blue RTS SG, which is the train that goes to Singapore to JB, which will be ready in end of 2026, which is end of next year, right? Very fast already, right? And then so this line will go to Senoko, which is basically Admiralty North, right? Admiralty North. Yeah, Cochrane is basically Sembawang North, right? I've driven there a few times, right? So I know roughly where this is. Sembawang North area, right, nearer to the sea. Senoko, then Sembawang North. And then here is basically Montreal. Montreal is actually just outside of Canberra, right? So actually not far from Canberra station. Then it goes all the way down, and then the next station he proposed here is actually Yishun Valley, which Yishun Valley is generally Yishun North, Yishun Spring, that area. Fairly near to the dam, Yishun Dam, right? So this is the northern part of Yishun where today got no MRT, right? Because Yishun has one MRT, then Khatib, right? These are the two Yishun stations, but this is north of Yishun MRT. Right there, it goes across Yishun Dam, the water, and ends up one at Seletar Airport, and then Fernvale, right? Fernvale is actually already north of Sengkang, so here got a number of LRT stations, right? Serving Fernvale today. But if you go to Fernvale, then I assume you connect to one of the LRT stations, or I don't know, right? And then goes down to Serangoon North. Now Serangoon North is important because it will connect to the Cross Island Line. Now Cross Island Line is currently under construction, right? I think the first phase will be ready by 2030, which is about 5 years from now. So like I stay in the east, right? I stay far east, right, in Pasir Ris. So for me, right, today I'll probably use this route to get all the way to JB, right? If I'm going to take train, right? That seems to be the more efficient route for me. Rather, otherwise today I have to go all the way to Circle Line, switch up to Red Line or to Thomson Line, which is still a quite far MRT ride. But if you stay in Singapore, right, and you stay along this new line, actually it adds up a lot of new people to go to JB, which is what I want to show you here, right? Let's just try and do this thing on the Google Map, right? Okay, so now we're on Google Maps, right? So if I use Google Maps, right, the start line is basically Woodlands North MRT, which is here, Woodlands North, and this is currently the construction site for the JB RTS that goes into JB up north, right? So if you're going to say speculate where this, based on what the earlier proposed drawing, right, it basically goes into north. Senoko is basically here. This is Senoko Power Plant. So this is generally industrial area, right? I don't think there's a lot of what do you call it, residential here, right? But this is all industrial area, generally speaking, right? With some residential on the other side, on the south side of Admiralty Road. Then you go up here is what they call Sembawang North, Admiralty North. Sembawang Station is a bit down here though. They call this area, I think they call it Cochrane, right? Or they go, and if you go further down, it will be what they call the north part of Canberra, which is what they call Montreal. And if you go down further, I think this is so Canberra is here. So basically follow Admiralty Road west, right, all the way down. Seems like the line is heavily biased to this road. Then you go down further will be Northern Yishun. So this is already Canberra side, North Yishun, right, where you end up near the dam, Yishun Dam here, and Seletar Island, right? Then you cross over into Seletar Airport, right? And then from Seletar Airport, it goes down into Fernvale area. Of course, Fernvale is very heavily residential area, right? And then of course, if you go down further, you end up somewhere in Serangoon North and into Serangoon Station itself, right? So I'll probably stop my YouTube here. Not my YouTube, my Google Map review here, because down there, I think travel time will be further, right? But this is what I feel like from Serangoon or Serangoon North onwards, right, to get to JB via this new line, right, should be fairly under in 1 hour lah. To me, that's the important thing lah. 1 hour travel time, right? From Serangoon North, you go up here into Yishun Spring, Yishun North, into Canberra North, which they call Montreal, then Sembawang North, or they call Cochrane, into Senoko, into Woodlands North. I think this MRT line will roughly be about 1 hour. So what I'm basically trying to say here, that if you try to go to JB via the Seletar line, which is the yellow one line which I've drawn over here, right? This is the current LTA MRT map, right? So this is basically roughly right on the LRT map. The yellow line is the Seletar line, right? I stopped basically at Serangoon North area, right? This area I think is the biggest beneficiary if you want to go to JB, right? For this group of people who stay Admiralty North, Sembawang North, Canberra North, the end of Yishun, right? All the way down into Fernvale, right, and Serangoon North, right? These guys, right, if they want to go to JB, right, next time they can do so in about an hour or less, right? And this is a big group of people, right? And I always say today that actually the biggest people who find it convenient to go to JB today are anyone who say Yishun and above, right? Like Yishun and above, right? Because for Yishun and above, right, you go like from Yishun today, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 MRT, you reach JB, which is very, very convenient. Or if you say Khatib, right? We have buyers from as high as Lentor. I got one buyer from Lentor, right? Or Bright Hill also, I have a buyer from Bright Hill. So these guys, right, who stay north, to go to JB is very convenient. Of course, if you stay much southern part of Singapore, like in Bedok or in near town like Bugis, Tanjong Pagar, Tiong Bahru, of course, go to JB, you might feel a bit far, because even the MRT trip itself in JB is quite far. But if you stay north, right, going to JB is a lot easier, especially now for those people with the new Seletar line as well. So for north and northeast people, right, I think this is a very, very big boon. Even for myself, like I stay Pasir Ris, right. So for me, Cross Island line is important. Cross Island line complete 2030, then I can take this future line to go to JB a lot easier as well. Otherwise, today, right, if I want to go to north, I have to no choice. I have to take bus all the way to Woodland, right? This is one option. Or if I take MRT purely, right, I need to go all the way to town, or not all the way to town, all the way to Paya Lebar switch up to Serangoon, Serangoon switch up to Thomson line. So a lot of switches, right, and the MRT trip is still fairly long, right? So if I were in Pasir Ris today, right, the easiest way for me is to go to Bedok, take a bus all the way to Woodlands, right? Also a bit of a troublesome number of switches, right? So this is why I think the Seletar line is quite interesting in that bit, right? So how does Johor Bahru benefit? Of course, very simple, right? More people from Singapore can go to JB easier. So this is a big plus for JB, right? We always want more connectivity, right? So easier for people in Singapore to go to JB and vice versa. And especially for people who stay Admiralty, Sembawang, Canberra, Yishun, Fernvale, Sengkang, all the way to Serangoon, which I think travel time to JB will be 1 hour or less, right? And that's very, very important. As alternative for those of you who don't live near Thomson or North-South line, right? Because if you live to Thomson or North-South line, for you today to go up to JB, you find it easier because the station near you, But if you don't, right, then you want to go by train, also troublesome. But now with this train, like I said, anybody with Admiralty, Sembawang, Canberra, Yishun, Fernvale, Sengkang, to Serangoon, all these guys will find it easier to go to JB, right? The only negative, of course, of this this project is that Singapore government say at least 15 years down the road, right? 2040 onwards, by that time I will be 50 something years old, right? So actually not so bad. I will still be quite active when I'm 50 something years old, so at least I can take train up and down JB Singapore easily. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like our content, do like, share, subscribe, share with your friends, right? We'll create more content that's relevant to you, especially, like I said, my subscriber base is generally speaking anyone in Singapore and Johor Bahru who live on both sides of cities and have a lot of experience, right, in both parts of Singapore as well as Malaysia, right? And we try to encourage more cooperation, more interaction between Johor Bahru and Singapore, whether you're a business, you're a personal resident or a property investor, doesn't really matter, right? We think both these economies should be intertwined more deeply. So thank you very much. If you have anything, you can please contact me at my mobile number below, 81261626, or my Malaysian number 0122591876, right? I will reply all your messages. I normally don't miss out any WhatsApps, right? And happy to show you any tour of JB, right? Property or otherwise, right? Yeah, when you are free or if interested. Okay. Thank you very much and bye-bye.